Lough Neagh is dying, and to no one's surprise, imperialism is again to blame. This lough is 3 times the size of Dublin and bigger than the entire country of Malta. One of the largest bodies of water in Western Europe and the largest on the island of Ireland. It supplies the drinking water for more than 40% of the 6 counties, and 43% of the land here drains into the lough through 6 main rivers. 50 years ago, Lough Neagh first experienced blue-green algae. It was found at the time when increased levels of phosphate from farming, industry and sewage runoff caused it to grow very quickly. Naturally, you would think that 5 decades will be long enough to fix this problem. Unfortunately though, climate change, dredging and the continued drainage of slurry and sewage into our rivers have only made things worse, and the lough and its ecosystems are now on the brink. Climate change, of course, had its part to play, as rising temperatures and wetter summers have turned what was once a containable outbreak into a full-blown ecological disaster. The conditions that allow blue-green algae to thrive have caused the deaths of countless fish, insects and mammals that depend on the lough and our rivers for survival. For decades, factories and farms have used our rivers as an open drain rather than spend the money to properly treat their runoff. This is the capitalist mode of production in a nutshell. Money above all else. Not to be left out, we inevitably find the British aristocracy right in the middle of this crisis. The bed of the lough and all its rights to its exploitation are in the hands of Nicholas Ashley Cooper, the so-called Earl of Shaftesbury. Born in London, Ashley Cooper was taught at Eton and owns a large estate in the south of England. There is more chance of him being found in Manhattan or Paris than in Tuam or Tamnamore. His distant ancestor, Arthur Chichester, a soldier and administrator of British rule in Ireland as the Lord Colonial Deputy of Ireland in 1601, boasted that him and his men had burned and destroyed all along the lough, even within 4 miles of Dungannon, where we have killed man, woman, child, horse, beast and whatever we found. The rights Ashley Cooper has been given by the British Crown's colonisation of Ireland have allowed him to dredge more than 1.5 million tonnes of sand each year from the lough's bed. This dredging has released nutrients into the water that have accelerated the algae's growth. Despite the denial of the industries benefiting from the local source of sand, the impact of dredging has left a long-term scar on the lough that will take generations to recover from. Ashley Cooper has made it clear that he will not return the lough bed to the public unless he is given payment for it. In doing so, he would rather watch it die than hand it over to public agencies who have had their hands tied by private ownership of our natural resources. This encapsulates British imperialism in Ireland. It goes far beyond land grabs and murder. There is a sinister and deeply rooted disdain for Irish people and our land. They would rather see our people and our nation die before they would return what is rightfully ours. Wealthy business owners, in pursuit of ever bigger profits, have sacrificed the rights of our workers and the health of our beautiful planet on the bloodstained altar of capitalism. Lough Neagh holds deep significance in Irish mythology, in which it has featured for thousands of years. Among the many stories passed down through history, one tells of how the legendary leader of the Fianna, Finn McCool, scooped up a lump of earth in battle with a Scottish rival. It landed in the Irish Sea, forming the Isle of Man, and left behind a crater that filled to become Lough Neagh. Wherever imperialism or occupation has existed, it has left behind a landscape changed for the worse by its presence. Whether that be lithium mining in Bolivia, oil pipelines through Native American lands, or Israeli resource theft from the occupied Palestinian territories. Imperialism is a cancer that is being allowed to fester by those in power, and like a cancer, it is long overdue for it to be cut out before it destroys our people and our proud nation. Have you had enough yet?